Hello, welcome to the second case study of the course Folk and Minor Art in India. Now, this case study is about the Pattachitra tradition of West Bengal. In the first part of this lecture, I'll give an overall look at the tradition, and the second part will deal with the works of two particular artists. Now, Pattachitra scroll painting, which is a form of folk art which comes from the eastern part of India, mainly from the states of West Bengal and Odisha. The Bengali scroll tradition is an ancient one, featuring single image paintings or long vertical multi paneled scrolls, which are known as putts. Now, painted putts of rural Bengal are one of the few genuine narrative pictorial folk art which has survived down to the present century. Now, the Patua, the artist, he is a kind of a minstrel, a religious preacher who employs these paintings as means to propagate his religion and also to earn livelihood as a wandering storyteller. Patuas are a community of itinerant scroll painters and singers residing in West Bengal in the districts of Murshidabad, Birbhum, Bankura, Hooghly, Bardhaman, and Mednipur district. A scroll painter is known in West Bengal as Patua, Chitrakar, Patikar, or Patidar. Now, scroll painting has also been an important device through which both oral and written epics are narrated. He goes from village to village, carrying these scrolls from door to door, and depending on people's requests, particular stories would be narrated for a small fee. Now, this is how this tradition has continued over the centuries. The scrolls are done on sheets of paper which are sewn together and are sometimes stuck on canvas or cloth. This craft is made on cloth which is treated with cow dung, lac, or black earth. Now, this treatment, what it does is that it makes the cloth thick, thereby making it easy to work upon and also giving it longevity and stability. The width of a patua, of a putt, can go from 4 to 14 inches, and their length, which often is seen to be around 3 feet, can also exceed 15 feet. The subjects painted by the Patuas in West Bengal are extremely varied. The themes are often inspired by the sacred texts of Hindu religion. They also portray political subjects which are given to them by the local authorities, like the regrouping of the lands or certain current government initiatives like family planning. The outlines of the figures in a Bengal putt are generally made in black, which are derived from lamp black and red. The scroll paintings are then painted using vegetable colors, which not only make the paintings very bright, but also add life to the scroll paintings. These paintings are therefore bright and vibrant even if they are 50 or 60 years old. The subjects of these scroll paintings are religious, and stories are also taken from everyday life, as mentioned before. And the Pattachitra practitioners have a unique style of presenting their craft. The Patidas, they go to different villages and convey the stories of these paintings with songs and music. The scroll paintings often illustrate scenes from Ramayana and Bhagavad Puran and other popular Hindu mythological stories, uh, which plays an important part in the oral transmission of tradition. And nowadays stories featuring birds, animals, snakes and fishes are also very common. In the past, as was the general practice, at fairs or at weekly bazaars or the haats, the vendors displayed the putts and sang songs to describe the story described in the scroll to attract buyers. Such a display of song and narrative storytelling entertained the common people, many of whom then buy the painted scrolls to decorate their homes in, and also having religious reverence as a part of it. The practice still continues, though the community of these gifted artists is a shrinking one as a result of economic hardship. Uh, as nowadays storytelling is not a popular form of entertainment anymore, even in rural areas, and also due to lack of patronage. Ramayana is still the most popular of the continuing oral traditions and still occupies an important part of the repertoire, both in terms of the paintings as well as the performances, regardless of the religious affiliations of the artist. Ramayana in Patt is sung by displaying the paintings of the characters and singing their stories. For example, Vanvas and Sita Haran, the most popular among the stories, which are painted and sung, and Jatayu is also portrayed as an important character. Now, moving on to the second part of this lecture, which deals with the art and life of two specific artists who recently were in IIT Kanpur campus. They were Fareed Chitrakar and Shiraj Chitrakar, cousin brothers who belonged from a community of Patua artists from district Midnapur, from West Bengal. Now, discussions and interviews with them revealed interesting insights into the life of a folk artist. They learned this craft as a family activity, as both male and female child of every family of the community is taught the art of making Pattachitra. And though belonging to Midnapur, this community paints in different styles of Pattachitra paintings, like Santhal style, Kalighat style, Sakuntala style, Murshidabad style. Now, with the advent of time and modernism, different styles are being lost, and only a few major ones like that of Kalighat and Midnapur are surviving. Now, Fareed and Shiraj, they often paint stories from the lives of anthropomorphic fishes and animals. For example, fish marriages was seen as subject from in one of their paintings. Other major subjects that they portray include stories from Ramayana, Mahabharata, stories from life of Durga or Mahisha Devi, and usage of symbols of birds and symbols as a metaphor for real life. Now, new stories are being depicted, like life of a fish or life of a tree, and also other topics like tribal dances, festivals, ceremonies like marriages. Now, these depiction of new ideas and elements and stories are driven by market market demand. As it sells more, so it is painted more. Now, like for an example, Santhal marriage was depicted in a painting which was painted in the style of Santhal tradition. It was a scene of celebration when the newly married couple is taken to their home in a palanquin, while in the background, people belonging to all age groups are seen drinking, singing, and dancing and celebrating the marriage festival. Nowadays, because of market demand and the buyers getting more aware, subjects from current affairs are also taken. For example, big events like September 11 or skirmishes in nearby areas like Nandigram fightings are also being depicted in the as painted stories. Now, interestingly, these two Chitrakas, they belong to Muslim community, but they draw Hindu gods and goddesses and stories of them, as they believe in worship of all gods. Now, this is specific to Bengal Pattachitra tradition, as during the 18th century Mughal rule, a large number of farmers embraced Islam, as Muslim rulers had put the infamous tax, which was known as jizya, on certain non-Muslim communities of farmers. Now, to avoid that tax, a large number of Hindu farmers became Muslim. But their way of life didn't undergo any change. So, in West Bengal and in Bangladesh, there is a huge number of Muslim farmers having this history. Now, the families of Farid and Shiraj, they have been making Pattachitra since the last 7 generations, and often vegetable colors are used which are very vibrant and also have very long life. One example of that is deriving of yellow colors from which is made from haldi powder, and they paint on a paper which is stuck on a cloth to make it sturdier and more stable, which then can live on for decades. And this particular Midnapore tradition, their business or market is generally is majorly in Kolkata. There is also an yearly Shilp Mela in Kolkata, in which 5,000 or so artists of and different craftsmen from different art and craft tradition gather and sell crafts like bamboo craft and cloths, flow mats, etc. And now this community, after having discussions from NGOs and who are working for the promotion of folk art forms, are expanding into making decorated wearables like kurtas, saris, and t-shirts, and other items of use are also being painted upon, like umbrellas or shoulder bags. So, in conclusion, Bengal Pattachitra folk art form is flourishing as it still has a large number of practicing artists. They are selling their works in good number, but sustenance based solely on creating art is no longer a certain and a viable option, as it used to in the past when rural areas didn't have other forms of entertainment like mobile phones or television. So, government and private patronage is still a requirement for proper sustenance and continuation of these varied art forms. Thank you.